Recording.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a late night edition, live for the first time in a long time, of the Sober Swole podcast. I'm just going to kick through my shout outs this evening. Sorry, Warhorse. I'm going to shout out to Royalty Nutrition. That's royaltynutrition.com, veteran owned and operated supplement company that makes high quality supplements to help you along your path to your fitness goals. Check them out. Use the discount code 37HAKE. It saves you 15% on that entire order. Do it. They're great. Support my boy David. GorillaGains.com. That's gorilla-gains with the Z.com. They are a fitness apparel company that you can work comfortably in and out of the gym. They also make great equipment that helps keep you safe while you train. Use the discount code Jake15 on that. That also saves you 15% on that. Patreon.com/Hake Joward. New Hake Rants drop today. Support your boy as I'm trying to support my football team I'm raising in my house. DJ Swirl, tell them about that buy-to-buy empire.
They say teamwork makes the dream work.
Nah, we're not doing that tonight. Buy to buy. Fast, friendly, on-demand moving, delivery, staging, TV mounting, and assembly. If you lack the time, towing, or the muscle to get your new purchase or something you need moved, done, hit us up at BUYTOBYE everywhere you are. What you see is a product of Buy to Buy Studios. We are high quality, low stress, always remote controlled. We help boutique brands boost their presence online, from everything from simple stories, reels, and clips to what you see here, full-fledged live streaming. At Buy to Buy Studios, buy2buy.com/studios. Jake, let's get into it.
Let's get into it. So I typed something up earlier. I'm just going to read it verbatim, so pardon me.
Let's go.
I was talking to a friend, and I know he's going through it. This guy's also in recovery, and I hope that it all works out. I know that you'll hear this or see it. Your wife, who I don't ever talk to, reached out to me, man. I hope that you keep your head about you. You get your ass home. You are better than the crumble. The foundation is still there. Stand up and rebuild. Lean on the people that you love instead of trying to carry it all. I know that's easier said than done, believe me. You know my story. I'm a screw up too. And also I'm a big, strong man that can shoulder it. But you know, it's all right to reach out and lean on your people to get you through. I love you, and holler back at me. And before we kicked it, I just got I got some messages back from this friend of mine's wife, that he's hanging out with some shady folks, and to me it seems like the relapse is probably in full effect. And that breaks my heart big time, because not only do I look up to this guy as somebody that's been through it and has helped so many people get sober themselves, but he's helped me a lot through when I'm struggling too. Someone I could call and lean on. I'm going to tell you the story about my former friend Max. I don't know if I've ever told this story. There was a guy in the Marine Corps I knew. I knew him. He's not dead, but I knew him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Max was one of the guys that used to hang out with us and stuff in the barracks when we were drinking and partying and all that. He was also the gentleman that introduced me to hillbilly heroin. If you don't know what that is, y'all got Google. His mom came and picked him, my boy David, young Andy, and me up, and we went to San Diego pretty much right when we got back into Twin Palms. And from that point on, she was everybody's mom. Just really sweet. You know, you could tell that Max was her entire world, kind of thing. They came and saw me when he was working kind of up and clean, doing some construction stuff, and that was the last time I saw either one of them. A couple years ago, Maureen, his mother, hit me up on Facebook Messenger to tell me that it had gotten bad with Max because he'd gotten into meth and in deep with the Aryan Nation. And she didn't know what to do because she was dying of bladder cancer. And Max had sold everything in her house except her bed. and then she died alone in the hospital from complications of trying to remove this bladder cancer. So I was trying to figure out a way to get up there to find him because he was on the run from the cops. And his mom died. And, he finally got caught. And I told his cousin, I said, I'm glad he's caught and they know where he's at. But I can't talk to him again until he makes his amends and apologizes because he was supposedly working the NA program, right? So that's
Yeah.
same with AA, you make your amends. And he reached out to me and just said, hey, man, do you remember another guy we served with? And that's the last communication I've had with him.
Yeah.
The reason why I brought that story up is I don't want this to be another Max story.
Right.
Especially because this dude means so much to other people. Not just his wife and his daughter, but he's helped thousands of people just on his story alone. Like he's helped thousands of people get their shit together. I just hope he's fucking okay.
So
I
before
tot-
we got back on here, I asked you, someone who doesn't have a history with abusing the privilege of drinking or just substances in general, but like as someone in active recovery, my question was, does that make you want to drink? And what was your response?
Absolutely not. If anything, it makes me disgusted and just so happy that I'm not in that situation. And that's a weird shitty feeling. Because like I have to be proud of me, but also like
In spite of,
also, it's also disgusting
yeah,
because this is my friend, man, and he's well, not to bring up names again, but there was another person that every time he would relapse, I would go through the same cycle.
sure,
And it was just like, fuck, okay. But then, like, oh, fuck. I got, like,
right, yeah. As I've not had a personal issue with substance abuse, I've had plenty of people around me that are no longer with us for that very reason. Um, One of my older brother's best friends, um, he was a wild dude, and he had his own issues. And the last time I saw him, I was working at Kroger. I was probably 16, 17 years old, and he comes in and he is active. He's a big dude. He's like pear shaped, like the penguin. And he came in. He was like, "Yo, have you talked to your brother?" And I was like, "No, I haven't seen him. He's supposed to be working today. Whatever." Da da da. Da. Couldn't find my brother. My brother was his source, was his grounding, right? He was the person who kept him grounded, and so couldn't find him. Was having an issue. This is 17. This is in the 1900s. This is pre mental health, pre all that stuff, right? So I saw this happening, but I'm literally bagging groceries, and come to find out, he was on that shit. Took off down, I think 7th Street, which is the equivalent of maybe like I don't know, just a residential street that you go 35 miles an hour on. He was going 60, 70 miles an hour. He drove a Sebring convertible, hit a curb, flipped, slid 300 feet, and was gone. And so, like, the reason why I've not had my own personal struggles is because I've had examples like that in my life to be like you have right now, the reinforcement of my own personal views. So I got that wide awakening at a very young age. And that's just one example. Another example, I lost one of my best friends who had a twin, drove a car that was Fast and the Furious back in the 1900s and lost control of it, got ejected from the car, and got airlifted, didn't make it to the hospital. And then we drove 90 minutes to see him, and I got to witness his twin brother staring over basically himself on the table. 20 years old, dog. Like, reinforces the fact that you don't need to do certain things. And so, yeah, man, hearing you not only go live with your situation, but to do it out of respect for the person that you have respect for, in spite of their struggle, in spite of their addiction. And so, I don't have that same, I can't relate to it directly, but I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to care for someone, know how they choose to behave because of the whether it's PTSD or just life events, and you wind up getting third party or third hand information from someone you don't talk to. Like, that's wild.
Yeah, man. He's going to take this as an attack
In his
because
current
your first in his current state, he's going to take
sure.
this as an attack. So your first thing to do is no, but brother,
Why would you be motivated to say this otherwise?
two tier. I want him to get help. I want him to go home, not just for his sake, but for his daughter's sake, his wife's sake. And I want other people that may see this that are going through it, to know that it's okay to reach out. Um, because there's a difference between being a drug user and abuser and then someone that's stuck. And no matter where you're at in it, you know you're fucking stuck. You know, even before you really come to grips with it, you know you're stuck. And you know you're messing up stuff with people you love and people that love you back. And you're burning bridges that you didn't even know that were built. You're blowing up bridges that didn't even exist yet. You know it, but it's okay to reach out and get help. And that's with the understanding that relapses happen. you, your relapses don't just hurt you anymore, especially when you become an advocate for living clean. And it has the potential to send a lot of people that look up to you back into a downward spiral. And it's a big responsibility and it's a big burden, but it was one that you chose. And it's also one that you don't have to carry by yourself. Um, I can say I probably still wouldn't be doing this show if it wasn't for this guy. I'm not saying I would have relapsed, but I'm saying I probably would have said, "Thanks for your time, Brian," a while ago. You know what I mean?
Because
And
you want him to have something to see.
no, 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 because it was you guys aren't big yet, and you might not ever be, but someone's going to see it that needs it.
And he might be one of the people that need it.
He might be. The show may have gone on for 2 more years because he might be the person that needed to see it. So I don't
Right.
know. Hopefully,
So our previous co-host, um, one. So you said, there's something that you hate in spite of it having a positive reference for you personally, right? You can't find joy in that thing. So like what
it's a mixed bag.
makes it yeah, it feels shitty. Like the combination of it, it's like a chord that is played wrong. all those
Yeah,
notes all those notes work great by themselves, but together, so
it's freestyle. It's freestyle jazz.
so our previous co-host is no longer here for a reason, and but one of my favorite clips of all time from this show is post relapse, when the moment of clarity, the moment of, you know, refocus, he's rejuvenated, all that stuff. And he's like, I love you. And I didn't say anything back. And then he said it again. And I say, heard you. And we all die laughing because we all understood in that moment that I was trying to establish a boundary, that he purposely did not reach out to me in the moment because he knew he would get real from me and he didn't want to hear it. So
Mhm.
I'm trying to not see the parallel, but is there one that exists with you and this person to where they wouldn't respond to you now because they know you would give them the real?
They know He,
Okay.
he knows.
So I just want to make sure that that exists outside of me because that sucks. It sucks that they know that I would give them good advice, but they didn't want to hear it. That they know that I wouldn't judge them, that I would let them vent, get their frustration out, find a parallel, find a something that aligns with removing the feeling of loneliness, the feeling that it's only them, that it's only happening to them, or that it only happens to them, because that's bullshit. It happens to so many people. And so it feels very overwhelming in the moment because it's just you and it's embarrassing to share it. So the embarrassment didn't exist, but they knew that I would get the real from me. And so they avoided contact with me and then tried to tell me they love me the next time they saw me.
Mhm.
Nah, nah. And then that wound up becoming what it was, in spite of my numerous attempts to reel them in. So it doesn't sound like you have that same relationship with this person, but you say that they might not talk to you right now because you would want to be real with them.
Yeah, he knows I tell him he's fucking up.
And would you rather be that? Would you rather be the that he would hear that from, or would you rather be the gaslighter that you heard that he would reach out to? Because
I
that's
ain't
the
here to enable no. I'm not here to enable nobody.
right. So that's the other side of it. So as shitty or as poor as that chord sounds, like you're doing the right thing. And then you're attempting to use your platform to reach out in spite of them wanting to not hear from you. So, uh, thank you for wanting to do this. Thank you for taking the moment to do this. I know you don't feel great. You're off right now,
Yeah,
and
man.
for obvious reasons. So, but you're here. You're here talking about it. And like you said, hopefully
Shit
someone
be funky.
this or shares it with someone that is fucking up. And they just need a reminder that it's okay to fuck up. The fuck up isn't the problem. It's the rebound.
Yep.
Okay, you missed the jumper. Chase that board.
The problem with, I think, a lot of people, um, when they relapse is they know they're going to have to deal with themselves and what they've done during. And, it's not my business to speak on this man's marriage, but this has definitely caused some pretty heavy friction.
Does this person see
He's,
has this person experienced therapy?
I think so,
Yeah.
but and um, every interaction, which is minimal, that I've had with his wife has been pleasant.
Yeah.
I don't have anything bad to say about her. I know that she's put up with a lot, um, not necessarily enabling, but um, standing by her man.
Sure.
Um,
Shout out to her
yep, but
because she's taking a brunt of all of this, and we can't even
yeah,
fathom
because
what that means right now because of the language that's likely being used.
she's got to get home, get up, go to work tomorrow. You know what I mean?
She
You know what I mean? Like,
has to function tomorrow. Yeah.
yep.
I think I told you about
So I mean,
one of the guys that works with me frequently that um I don't believe he has a problem, but it affects his choices. And we wound up having some friction because he called off on a gig like right before it was supposed to happen. And not like he's gonna show up late, like he's out of state. Oh, you can't hear me? I can hear you. You can't hear me at all? Nothing. Can you hear me? Nope. Looks like we've got technical difficulties. Let's reset this and jump back right back in. Stay tuned.